26th edition of the Bliss Catchers. It's been 26 editions and we have guests number 48 and 49 with us today. And we are also doing this only because we have Team Odyssey supporting us fabulously. They just celebrated their 22nd anniversary a couple of days ago. And Team Odyssey led by Ashwin, our dear friend, host, and his team led by Bharatanatyam, Ashwin Jr., all those people, they help us make this event possible every month. On the last Saturday of every month at 7 p.m. if anything is happening in Chennai, it's happening at Odyssey. Have I said it right, Ashwin? So thank you for joining us and helping us start on time. The Bliss Catchers is a very unique conversation series that we host every month, celebrating Joseph Campbell and his philosophy of follow your bliss. The man said, follow your bliss and doors will open. And for Vani and me particularly, this has held true all our life. I remember an incident from way back 30 years ago. I had a job. I don't think I've shared it in this forum, so it's a relatively new story, and that should even excite people who have been here for all our editions. So 30 years ago, when I had a great opportunity to grow my career in the corporate side, I was getting a princely salary of 1,500 rupees per month, working for the CAD Center. You must have all heard of this brand name called CAD Center. It's a very popular chain of education in the field of computer-aided design and drafting. And I was on their sales and marketing side, CAD Center, and 1,500 was my salary. And my joy really lay in writing. I wanted to be a journalist. But I had to marry Vani. We needed money. She had accepted my proposal. Her parents had kind of agreed for letting us marry. My parents had grudgingly accepted the whole possibility of us getting married because I think everyone's eyes were on that 4-figure salary, and my heart was drawn towards writing. And that's when I sat with Vani and said, what do I do? Do I take up a job which gives me joy, which is, I had applied to the Indian Express. At that time it was called the Indian Express, it was the undivided Indian Express. And the salary on offer was 749 rupees. And she said, go do what gives you joy, what makes you happy. So my journey as a Bliss Catcher, and I heard about Joseph Campbell much later in life, happened because of my co-Bliss Catcher, which is Vani. And thanks to her support, I started off on my life's journey with the Indian Express. As a writer, I kicked that corporate job. The original Campbell, no, Campbell is too original, too senior. I'm just a humble fly on the wall and a student. So that's really why the philosophy that Campbell talked about, follow your bliss and doors will open, really makes a lot of sense to me and to Vani. We're going through a very difficult time now. To know more about it and to know our story, you should pick up my book, Fall Like a Rose Petal. I talk about the cathartic phase of the bankruptcy that we are enduring as a family. And yet, in this time, we totally stay rooted to what Campbell has talked about, which is doors open where only walls exist, only because we are happy. And that's really what this series celebrates. It celebrates happiness. It celebrates the fact that we all have one life, and let's do something very, very meaningful with that life. Now, before I introduce my guests this evening, I really want to have a new segment introduced from this month, which is a very short segment. We do have a lot of guests who come regularly in the audience, and we started asking people, hey, what impact does the Bliss Catcher series make in your life? How has it touched you? And we get very overwhelming responses from people. People write to us, people ping me on WhatsApp, we meet for coffee and people share their stories. And so we thought, why not bring for the first time a member of the audience, a regular member of the audience, who can share his story of what he picked up from the Bliss Catcher series. Now he's a guest who we don't know from before. We know him only through the Bliss Catchers. He was in fact in the very first edition of Bliss Catchers in 2015 January, where you see Bharadwaj Rangan of the Hindu featured, and this edition actually happened at the Ashwita Bistro. That was the original home of the Bliss Catcher series. And he walked up to me and introduced himself, and he said he loved the program. The next month we met him, and he said he had quit his job. And I was quite surprised. Just the previous month he had introduced himself as a senior member of the leadership team of Tech Mahindra, and then the very next month here he was telling me that he quit his job. So I asked him why. I got an answer that day, and after that I've been meeting him over the last couple of years, 3 years now, and I've seen this man glow, you know, from a weather-beaten corporate warrior to a man full of life, full of joy, and that gives me the opportunity to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, my guest in the Bliss Catcher Impact series, who will share very quickly what he's taken away from this program, Suresh Kumar Swami. Over to you, Suresh.
Thanks, Iris. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll just give a quick synopsis of what I went through. I'm still work in progress. Let me put that disclaimer. Unlike the accomplished individuals here and also on the chart. Okay. In the month of January 2008, okay, an event happened where the company I was working for was basically going bankrupt. It was Satyam. So all of a sudden, that day when that momentous announcement came on the press and everything, so I was looking at this. I was quite used to. I have worked very long in the US, so I knew what it was to be without a job, and moving jobs is something that I'm used to. But all of a sudden, that event made me think. So I had this my own visiting card which had my fancy designation and the brand I was working for, everything. Now I suddenly realized that what mattered in that entire card was just my name. The rest of that was completely irrelevant on that particular day. So I said, look, okay, then you have friends in the industry who all called up and then they said, okay, why don't you come and pick up something else. So I had the choice that day that should I once again go and look for another identity, another visiting card, another designation, another brand, and just my name, just also sitting in it. Or I start looking for an alternative identity, an alternate way of looking at things. And then, there are social pressures and so on, that continued on and on and on. And I was beginning to finally sort of have some thought in my mind that I have to get over this. I have to create space in my life for something new to enter, for which I have to let go of this identity that I was carrying. So that conviction came very, very clearly, but I did not know what it was. But I said I will go with the flow. When I was looking for external validations, when I saw AVIS program, the newspaper, and decided to pay visit to the program, just out of curiosity. But that program on the following one kind of gave me a strong validation of my thought process, and I knew that there are people who have followed these alternative thought processes and who have found that they could be themselves. So I said, okay, I am going to give up this identity first, make something else or commit it. I don't know what it will be, but I'll go with the flow. And then I quit my job. That's when we met, and then things moved on for a couple of months. It was pretty stressful not having a job in terms of getting up in the morning and going to work, not going to work and stuff like that. But I somehow went with the flow, and then finally I enrolled myself in a course which is an MA in Sanskrit. I'm doing it at one of the city colleges. I'm almost in the completion of the course. In about a couple of weeks from now, I'll be finishing. But in the course of these 2 years, not only the course but also the sessions I've had here, as well as when you look at life completely differently, then you realize that it doesn't matter, and one has to stop asking the question, what next? It will come to you. And you have to create space for that what next to come into your life and be there. You just need to wait for it. And you meanwhile go ahead and pursue whatever fields you believe is interesting. I was always interested in the Indological studies and stuff like that, so I decided I will pursue something that is of my interest. Anyway, talking about what I did in the course is a completely different topic, but I'm telling you, I'm finding it absolutely blissful to be doing this course, and I've taken up so many takeaways are there. I cannot even, this time given for this too small for that, but started the journey. Like I said, I'm still work in progress, unlike the gentlemen who are here as well as the people on the floor on the charts. I may continue to be in work in progress as well, I don't know, but it's okay. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. In a way, unless we empty ourselves, unless we empty our hands, we cannot receive anything. And so I think the takeaway for me from Suresh's story is really that you have to let go of what you have. If you see a child and a child wants a new toy, the child will be very quick to negotiate with you and drop whatever the child is having in his or her hand. The child will not protest. Supposing the child has picked up a mobile phone and you don't want the mobile phone to be dropped and damaged, and you are negotiating with the child will be quick to drop the mobile phone into your hand and take whatever else you have to offer. So unless you let go of what you're holding, what you're clinging on to, you cannot have that new life that you're aspiring for. And that's the story that we pick up from Suresh. Thank you, Suresh, for sharing your journey with us. We're all works in progress. I don't think anybody finishes. I'm sure that's what they both will say as well when they get here. So that brings me to my guest numbers 48 and 49 on the 26th edition of the Bliss Catchers. I have here ZAKIR HUSSAIN and BALU PANDIYAN, both of them good friends now, and in the process of curating this program, got to know them fairly closely, and looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful interaction with them. Let me introduce them to you. ZAKIR is celebrating his 25th year as a dancer now, and he's done something that many of us cannot even imagine doing, which is he gave up an opportunity to be a fiber technologist. He's a qualified fiber technologist. He gave up that opportunity to pursue dance. That's one. And secondly, he's immersed himself, he's dived deep into Vaishnavism, and he has a deep passion for Andal's works and her message. And he's also the founder of the SriPaadham Academy of Dance. He delivers Thirupaavai Upanyasams. And that's what is his bliss, to talk really about the journey of these great saints and philosophers and their thoughts, and share it with audiences like us who perhaps want to understand what they were all trying to communicate to us. So that's really what he does. His bliss is to spread the message of Andal, Vaishnavism, and importantly, in today's India, underline that any number of times, secularism. So one of the things that endears me to ZAKIR is just the way he looks. He's glowing, look at him, he's full of energy, and he wears his life on his sleeve. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome ZAKIR. I heard of ZAKIR through the newspaper. There was an article during the Margari season of ZAKIR delivering Upanyasam at the Bharatanatyam Sabha, and I reached out to my good friend Madhuvanti Arun, and through her connected with ZAKIR. So it's been wonderful knowing you, ZAKIR, and I'm going to have you join me here in just a moment. My other guest this evening is BALU PANDIYAN. I met BALU thanks to an event that Chinmaya had hosted many years ago, and I saw a spark in BALU from day one. He was a man who has very, very grounded realities about life, and a man who is diving deep into the world of wines. So, as the introductory invitation would have declared, he's an Oenophile, a connoisseur of wines. He He's a trained, qualified master sommelier. And he's given everything that he has, and he's going to talk about it. And I know some of that part of the journey pretty closely. He's given everything that he's got, everything material, for the joy of understanding, learning, and diving deeper and deeper into wines. I think many of us drink a glass of wine to get a kick out of it. And I think he's intoxicated with the very mention of the word wine. So I'll be curious to understand how that intoxication happens and how heady it is. So that brings me to Balu. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Balu Pandiyan. So thank you, Zakir and Balu. Can I have both of you gentlemen here, please? Thank you for being with us this evening. It's wonderful. Here's your mic. So the format, especially for those who are joining us for the first time, for the next about 45 odd minutes, we will be in conversation among ourselves, and then in around closer to 8 o'clock, we will open the floor for questions from you to the guests. And of course, we have the most popular quiz segment, as usual. On your seats, you would find bookmarks. You would find discount coupons for this wonderful brand called Hazel, who are our gift partners. And we will close the evening with the quiz segment, and that will be closer to 8:29. We always start and finish on time, so you can look forward to the event closing on time, so you can catch up with your Saturday evening. So Balu, how are you feeling? Good? Great. What about you, Zakir? Feeling good?
Good, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So let's get started. Let me start with Balu, your story. And the way we'll go is we'll go between the two stories, and you'll see how beautifully they connect. And now people who received the invitation and who pinged me on WhatsApp, and sometimes some of them even called me, talked about the uniqueness of today's choice of guests. One is deeply spiritual, they said, and the other is the other one is too spirited. Right? Now, I want to say that the vice versa can also apply. I think when you immerse yourself in a subject that you love, you are indeed spiritual about it. And the way Zakir looks, the way Zakir performs, the way Zakir speaks, the way Zakir delivers his lectures, you can find that sense of being spirited in him. So I think it's a beautiful confluence, spirituality and spirit, and we will all soak in it for the next 90 minutes. Right?
Before we start, we always say, wine is my religion and I'm the priest.
Oh, wonderful, fantastic. That's a nice way to start. Okay, so Balu, my question to you first. So Balu started as a dishwasher at Chola Sheraton. Now that's an unusual start to a career, especially when you have today reached a status of a master sommelier in wines. Okay?
I'm there, I'm not reached the master.
Yeah. But to me, you are. So I took the Gustaki Maaf. Sorry for the usage of Urdu, but I'm sorry for kind of taking the liberty and calling you a master sommelier already. But what I mean is that you are, to me, the sommelier that I know. So therefore, you are the master sommelier. So my first question is, how was it that you ended up as starting your career as a dishwasher? What kind of situation was there back at home for you to take that up? Did you at all graduate from a regular college? And then we'll come to wines in a bit.
Sure. Long story short. Of course, I was born with a silver spoon. But all of a sudden, when I was 13, I believe, I lost my dad. So my mom is a typical housewife, so we lost everything with our partner and relatives. So obviously, the elder one has to go for a work from India, Chennai. So I was doing my electronics communication, and I got to discontinue and so start working. So I still remember the day I went to a Chola Sheraton. That time they used to call personal department. So the gentleman asked, "What's your name?" So I was very kind of powerful and said, "My name is Balu." Okay. Then the second question, I don't know what he asked. So because English. So he said, okay, something he wrote on the paper, and when I went to the linen department, and they gave me a cotton hat and cotton uniform and a big boot. Okay. So that's where I started in dishwasher.
Then you didn't speak English at that time?
No, actually, I'm from the government school, so what you can expect from me? I know my name is Balu, and if you can even ask me what's your father's name, I can say my father's name is Pandiyan. Then whatever you ask, I'll blink or I'll shake my head.
That's the way it was.
That's the way it was.
But you came from a very well-to-do childhood.
Yes, I studied in a convent, but again until 5th or 6th standard. So then again I was transformed to Tirunelveli. I was shifted to Tirunelveli to Chennai. So there was few things were going on.
There was a lot of chaos.
Personal family issues. I wasn't very decision maker because I was small, and you know my father likes to beat me, so I don't open my mouth.
Okay. So that's how you ended up at Chola Sheraton as a dishwasher.
Dishwasher. Yes.
How did you get introduced to the world of wines? What did it happen at Chola Sheraton also?
No. It took a long time actually. When you are in the dishwasher and you're wearing all these cotton uniforms and you're just, sometimes they say it's a pot washing. So when they have big events, banquet events, certain bowls or certain parts, I need to go inside to clean because I was so tiny. So when you see all these the waiters and the captains and the managers or maître d'hôtel, they're dressed really nicely with shining buttons and polished shoes. So like, this was the inspiration, like what should I make to be one among them?
Oh, okay.
So that's what brought me out of the dishwasher. So every time I get a break, I go and work with them and say, can you show me how to fill the table? I ask them what is the difference between why this plate is big, why this small, and both are the same monogram and etc. So they started teaching me. So when there is somebody is absent or something, so I used to be the water boy or a clearance boy in the banquet. So then I made my way.
So it was a kind of your thirst for knowledge. You wanted to learn something new, mainly because you wanted to wear a better uniform, right?
In that time. Yes.
In that time, that's the way you looked at life.
Yes.
And you taught yourself by asking questions.
Absolutely. And normally when there is a conference, I used to be standing inside the hall and listen to people how they speak. And to be honest with you, and you know me very well, whatever the language I speak today, it's not from the books, it's what I learned from my knowledge or
by working knowledge. You picked it up
yes.
along the way. You picked it up along the way.
Speaking in front of the mirror in the toilet, people call me crazy. So these are the things I used to do.
So how did I can see the connection from dishwasher to banquets, but how did banquets lead you to wines? I mean, that's a completely different ball game altogether. And why not? Did you at all have to get an opportunity to work in banquets or in F&B or any such role?
Yes, once I was working as a waiter in a banquet hall, and then the Cholas thought that the entire banquet hall were going on renovation. So they picked only a few people from banquets and they transferred us to other department, various departments. So I was put on a room service. So then I requested the personal manager, Mr. Jayachandra. So we had a kind of agreement. So I used to do the college IHM in the morning. Then I used to come back and do the night shift. Sorry, evening shift actually. I have to report 6 o'clock and I finish 2. Then I sleep in the locker room itself. Then I get up the next day morning. I used to go to college. It's hard, but I used to feel really proud of myself because everybody will be having a idli and dosa, but I'll be having my breakfast croissant and coffee. And I wear a white shirt, Louis Philippe, which is laundried in the Chola Sheraton. So this all keeps me going.
Fantastic. I'm going to go to wines, but before that I'm going to go to ZAKIR. But before I go to ZAKIR, one last question to you because the train of thought is here. If I don't ask it now, we'll miss it. And if we miss it, then the audience can't pick up a very, very, very important point from your life. You often, even now, when you get the time, go and report without revealing your identity in the personnel department of any hotel. Why do you do that? Even now, sometimes,
yes.
When you get the time,
yeah.
you go and report in the personnel department of a hotel, asking for a contract job. Why do you do that?
Okay, I'm sure later when we go further you'll understand. because I was working in with the Mercedes, McLaren Mercedes, the Formula 1 team.
We'll go to that later.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but every time, I used to stay in France, so every time I have like a few days, at least one day, I go and work as a dishwasher, which puts me neutral. I'm not someone in Monaco, I'm still a Tamil Chennai boy.
I wanted all of us to pick that up. So what he does is he reports at a Taj Coromandel or a Crown Plaza or a Meridian or wherever, and does not announce his identity or his background, and signs up for that day's contract job. And that day's contract job eventually ends up cleaning dishes or moving furniture in banquets and stuff like that. And I wanted all of us to get that. I think that's a great idea to stay grounded. I think the learning is, can we all take one day in a year and go back to doing what we did at the start of our career? I think that will be a great way to stay grounded. Thank you, Balu. I'll now switch to Zakir's story. Zakir, all set to ask you the first question. You were born in Salem, and you come from a background where I don't think classical dance might have been a very well established school of thought over there. How did classical dance happen to you, and how did you have the courage to announce to your family that, hey, listen, I don't want to do fiber technology, okay, I've finished my qualification, thank you, but I really want to do dance. How did that happen?
Actually, my family is very traditional Muslim family. 5 times a day, my family, all members of the family will use the namaz and all. For me, my house and my mosque, where I belong, that small village called Thirupaavai, random ure compound.
Okay.
And it was so happened, my uncle, that is Papa Anna, uncle in the sense Tamil Nariya Perepa. So he was a mullah in that mosque. So every day he wakes me up and he'll take always, he never bother about his son or his daughters or whoever it is. But he always see to that, I am going to the mosque. I don't know why. So, attracting towards the religion, whether it is Hinduism or Islam, whatever it is only the learning part for me to learn Islam completely. And the dharma is completely switched on some other religion. Okay. So I got to know about the Christianity, not Hinduism. So I studied in St. Paul's School. So St. Paul's is like every day we have to say that Arunarindha Mariya at least 75 times a week. Not Muslim is very marandu pochu. Oru kaalathile whether I am a Muslim or what, I used to go and say that Arunarindha Mariya it's like it has become a chanting for me. For a day, if you say 75 times, it will become a part of your life. So it happened to me. And when I got holidays in the 8th standard, I started reading books. My father compelled me to read books. So, one of the books, one of the weekly, and I only create a ground color pata soft. I never go for any, I didn't allow to go to any sports activity or whatever it is. So I was kept like நான் பிறந்த உடனே எங்கள் அப்பா ஜோசியம் பார்த்துருக்காரு. இட் இஸ் ரொம்ப ஆச்சரியமான ஒரு விஷயம். அந்த ஜோசியக்காரன் சொல்லியிருக்கான், இவன் எப்பவுமே உங்களோட இருக்கவே மாட்டான், வில் கோ அவே ஃப்ரம் யூ அண்ட் யுவர் ஃபேமிலி. ஸோ he put me in a cage. So like parrot. அப்படியே வளர்த்துறதுனால நான் என்ன பண்ணிட்டேன்னாக்கா ஐ ரெட் எல்லாம். எனக்கு காலையிலேருந்து நைட் வரலையும் இப்போவுமே என்னுடைய ஸ்கூல் டீச்சர்ஸ் எல்லாரும் பார்த்தாங்கன்னா முதல்ல கேட்க வேண்டிய கேள்வி, இப்பயும் படிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருக்கேன், எழுதிட்டே இருக்கேன். ஸோ அந்த அளவு படிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருப்பேன். 24 hours, லைக் 22 hours I used to read. 2 hours தான் தூங்குவேன். ஸோ அது வந்து ரொம்ப அடிக்ஷன் ஆகிடுச்சு. நான் படிக்காமல் இருக்கவே முடியாது. ஒரு நாளைக்கு வந்து மினிமம் வந்து ஒரு 10 to 15 hours படிக்க மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஆனால் இன்னொரு பெரிய ஆச்சரியமான விஷயம் எனக்கு என்னென்னா, ஆசீர்வாதம் சொன்னோம், படிக்கிறதுல ஞாபகம் இருக்கும் என்ன படித்தாலும். I am a great fan of Anand and Kumudam or Jayakanthan or like Sandilyan. அந்த காலத்துலேயே சாண்டிலியன்லாம் போய் படிச்சிருக்கேன். பொன்னியின் செல்வன், கல்கி, இந்த மாதிரிலாம் நிறைய படிச்சுக்கிட்டு தமிழ் தான் நிறைய படிப்பேன். இங்கிலீஷில். ஸோ அது படித்ததுனால என்னாச்சுன்னா then I searched some books on the religion. It so happened my first book was Ramanujan about Vaishnavism. I started reading about Vaishnavism. I want to know about Advaitam. So when I read about Advaitam, I want to know about Dvaitam. Like that, the search was அந்த வயசுல இப்போ யாராவது ரொம்ப ஆச்சரியமா இருக்கும், 8வது படிக்கிற வயசுல எப்படி அத்வைதம் துவைதம் விஷ்டாத்வைதம், அது முஸ்லீம் பையனுக்கு, அதுவும் கான்வென்ட் படிக்கிற கிறிஸ்டியன் கான்வென்ட் படிக்கிற பையனுக்கு. It was so like, when I was narrating my story to someone else, that is Sesha sir, Infosys chairman, he was wondering, என்ன இது வந்து என்ன மாய உலகம் மாதிரி இருக்கு, உனக்கு என்ன நிஜமாவே இப்படிதான் இருக்கு, நீ சொல்லுன்னு. But it happened.
That's the way you were raised. And it all happened like that.
It all happened like that. So I started reading books.
அப்பயே ஃபைபர் டெக்னாலஜி
அது என்னன்னா சேலத்துக்காரங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு மைண்ட் செட் உண்டு, பையன் வந்து பிக்சர் எடுக்க கூடாது.
சேலத்துக்காரங்களுக்கு மட்டும் இல்ல, எல்லா பேரண்ட்ஸுக்கும்
இருக்கும். அது சேலத்துக்காரங்களுக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து சேலம் ஃபுல்லாவே வந்து டெக்ஸ்டைல் அதிகம். உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும், பவானி, ஈரோடு, சேலம், கோயம்புத்தூர், அதெல்லாம் ஒரு பெல்ட். அந்த பெல்ட்ல வந்து டெக்ஸ்டைல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் வந்து அதிகம். ஸோ மை ஃபாதர் தாட், ஓகே பையனுக்கு படிப்பு தான் அதிகமாக இருக்கு. நான் வந்து ஒரு 8வது படிக்கும்போது, இன்னும் ஏர்லியர் ஸ்டேஜில் ஒரு 5th படிக்கும் போதே நான் என்ன செய்வேன்னா அரசியலை பற்றிலாம் பேசுவேன். எங்கள் அப்பா உட்காந்துருப்பது, அப்பா ஒரு பொண்ணு தெரியாது சும்மா இல்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் எங்கள் அப்பாவுடைய ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் பேச ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். ஸோ அந்த அளவுக்கு பாலிடிக்ஸை பற்றி நான் ரொம்ப தெளிவான ஒரு நாலேஜ் இருந்தது அந்த காலத்தில். இப்போவுமே உண்டு. இன்னொரு கேள்வி கேட்டிங்கனாக்கில், ஐ வாண்ட் டு எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் எவ்ரி திங் ஃபார் த பாலிடிக்ஸ், வாட் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் அண்ட் வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன். But I cannot.
This is not a political.
இல்ல, I cannot because of being a celebrity or இந்த ரொம்ப சென்சிட்டிவான ஒரு சீட்ல உட்கார்ந்திருக்கிறதுனால I know what I should express something. So it's like that. So attracted towards religion. After religion, I used to see Padmaniyamma and Vaishnavism dancing on the screen. I started fascinating Padmaniyamma and Vaishnavism. They are my dream girls.
Okay.
Now I am 45. So அப்போ உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் இப்போ இருக்கிற நயன்தாரா இருக்கிற மாதிரி அப்போ வைத்தியத்துக்கு இதுவாக இருந்திருக்கும். ஸோ அது பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்ச உடனே ஏன் இவங்கெல்லாம் ஸ்க்ரீனில் ஆடுற மாதிரி நம்ம ஆடக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, தேங்க்ஸ் டு கமல் ஹாசன் சார் ஆல்சோ, he used to dance very well அப்போ. ஸோ அது ஒரு இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன்ல எனக்கு டான்ஸ் கற்றுக்கணும்னு சொல்லி தோணி இருக்கணும்.
That's how you moved in that direction.
எல்லாம் என்ன மட்டும் இல்லை, கிராமத்துல இருந்து வர எல்லா டான்சர்ஸ்க்கும், ஐ எம் டாக்கிங் அபவுட் த டான்சர்ஸ் ஹூ கம்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் தட் வெரி lower that is belt of that urban belt, they are very fascinating about dance. சொல்லி ஏன் சொல்லி கேள்விப்பட்டீங்கன்னாக்க வெறும் சினிமா பார்த்துக்கலாம். The cinema inspired me to take up dance.
Okay.
But after that only I realized that dance is not this dance.
No, was it difficult for you to convince your family? And was there a family influence on your decisions?
Who said I am convinced my family? I was thrown out of my family. One fine day, I used to say all my students or whoever interviewed me, அன்னைக்கு எங்கள் அப்பாவுக்கு என்னை வீட்டை விட்டு வெளில போகணும்னு சொல்லும்போது எல்லா தேவர்களும் பூவை வந்து கையில் வச்சு உட்காந்துருந்தாங்க. நான் வீட்டை விட்டு வெளில போகும்போது அப்படியே தலையில் போட்டாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, இட் ஹேப்பன் ஃபார் மீ ஃபார் ட்வைஸ். ஒன்று எங்கள் அப்பா வீட்டை விட்டு வெளில போகும்போது சொல்லும்போது தேவர்கள் ஆசீர்வதிச்சாங்க, அப்படி நான் நினச்சிக்கிறேன். அப்புறம் இன்னொன்று வந்து என்னுடைய குரு என்னை நீ இந்த கிளாஸை விட்டு வெளில போகணும்னு சொல்லும்போது தேவர்கள் ஆசீர்வதிச்சாங்க. அப்பா 2 வேலையும் கரெக்டாக ஆசீர்வதிச்சிருக்கிறாங்க. I did select. I did ask my father to throw me out or whatever it is. ஒரு நாள் ஏதோ நான் நாராயணான்னு சொல்ற வார்த்தையை ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக பழகிருப்பேன். ஒரு நாள் நைட்டு இட் ஹேப்பன், படுத்துட்டு இருக்கும்போது திடீர் தும்மல் வருது. அச்சல் தும்மிட்டு நாராயணா அப்படின்னு எங்க அப்பா அங்கேருந்து வந்தாரு. வாட் நாராயணா? You are abandoned from a family. You are against all these ethics. நான் சொன்னேன், நீயே 5 வேளை தொழுவது இல்லை. My father is one of the biggest fraud. So நீயே 5 வேளை தொழுவது இல்லை, நீயே குரான் படிச்சதில்லை. At least I have read Quran. I know Urdu and Arabic, both the languages. I used to read a lot. நீயே ஒன்றும் பண்ணுறதில்ல. எங்கள் அப்பா இஸ் dumb character. ஆனால் ரொம்ப பெரிய புத்தாலி நினச்சி பேசியிருப்பாரு. He always knows that வாங்கி உனக்கு இதை பற்றி தெரியுமா அப்படின்னாக்கல, I don't know. But he used to bring books for me to read, but he never read. He was a teacher. But on the 8th, 9th, 10th teaching குள்ளாரியே அவர் அப்படியே செஞ்சு கேம் ஆடிட்டார். நான் சொல்லுவேன் யோ நான் 3வது படிக்கும்போது 4வது படிக்கும்போது எங்க அப்பாவுடைய ஆன்சர் பண்றதெல்லாம் திருப்பி கொடுத்தேன். உனக்கே அறிவில்லை கொஞ்சம் கம்மி. நீ வேற என்கிட்ட பேசுறீங்க. நீ
But they still abandoned you. They still, or rather, asked you to leave.
No, if I want to join with him, I have to go out.
Okay.
He passed away. So, அது மாதிரி தான் ஆச்சு.
That's how you.
அந்த நாள் நைட் வந்து he threw all my துணி எல்லாம் உன்னுடைய துணி எடுத்து சொல்லுவாங்க. அவர் வாங்கி கொடுத்தாரு. எடுத்துட்டு போன்னு சொல்லிட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் தூக்கி வெளில இருந்தாரு. I was sitting for 5 hours to 6 hours the whole night in my வீட்டு வாசல். Then I took a time to
அந்த மொமெண்ட்ல இருக்க அந்த வீட்டு வாசப்படியில நீங்க உட்கார்ந்துருக்கும்போது what was the clarity on where you are headed, what you are going to do with your life, or what was the feeling at that time? Did you feel என்ன emotion ஓடி?
இப்போ இவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான் born with a silver spoon மாதிரி I born with a golden spoon. So அவ்வளோ பெரிய ஃபேமிலி லைக் என்னுடைய ஊரே எங்கள் ஃபேமிலி தான். அந்த ஹோல் ஊரே 400 வீடுங்க இருக்கும். அந்த 400 வீடும் எங்கள் சொந்தக்காரங்க. ஸோ அவ்வளோ பெரிய ஃபேமிலி. அந்த ஃபேமிலியில் இருக்கிற எல்லா ஃபேமிலிக்கும் நான் தான் ரொம்ப செல்லப்பட்டேன். அது மாதிரி எல்லாரும் தூக்கி கொஞ்சம் விட்டு கிள்ளி விட்டு போகிற ஃபேமிலி அந்த அளவுக்கு நான் இருந்தேன். ஸோ ஐ தாட் ஓகே இன்னைக்கு வீட்டை விட்டு துரத்தி விட்டாருனாக்கல ஐ ஷுட் நாட் கம் டு திஸ் ஹவுஸ் அகெயின் இன் மை லைஃப்.
கிளியர் அபவுட்
ஐ வாஸ் வெரி கிளியர். அப்பதான் எனக்கு ஒரு பைத்தியக்கார படம் ஒன்று பார்த்தேன். உன்னால் முடியும் தம்பின்னு சொல்லிட்டு யாராவது பார்த்துருக்கேன். கமலஹாசன் படம். அதுல he was thrown out from that வீட்ல இருந்து அவங்க அப்பா வந்து வெளில போன்னு சொன்ன உடனே then he will say that one day I'll make you to say that you are my father அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படி சொல்லிட்டு he will challenge and he will go out. So அந்த படம் அன்னைக்கு ஏதோ it was happened in 1 week அதுக்கு முன்னாடி பார்த்ததுனால so I told the same dialogue to my father.
Fantastic.
Again I am thankful to Kamalhassan.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'll come back to your story. It's a beautiful story. It's kind of blossoming as we go along. But I'm at that midway point now when I see Vivi Batra there and I'm going to look away. Last time she took away all the mugs. So if you don't get mugs this time, you know who to catch. Okay, so we have the midway quiz where I am going to ask you questions about the two guests. This is a fairly dumb set of questions and the answers are going to be pretty easy. So hands on buzzers, everyone. Okay, or rather, whoever raises their hand first gets the opportunity to answer the question. And my decision is final. If too many hands go up, blame it on my eyesight. But whoever I pick up gets the answers. And I'm not looking at Vivi Batra at all. So here's the first question, and you get this beautiful mug. Okay, there are a lot of people collecting these mugs. So one question on Balu and one question on Zakir. I'll go to Zakir first. Connect Zakir with a wonder of the world. Two hands went up, two answers came. How do I give it?
Don't give it. Don't give it.
No, of course I have to give it. I think I'll give it to Dr. Charik. Okay? I'll give it to Dr. Charik. Her hand went up first and she had the answer. So I'll give it to Dr. Charik. Dr. Charik, please. 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 Okay. The answer is Zakir Hussain and the famous ad for Taj Taj ad of Taj Mahal tea. That was the question. As I said, these are very simple, very easy to answer questions. This one is on Balu. The question is on Balu. So connect. Listen to the answer fully. Question fully. Please listen to the question fully, because the answer is in the question itself. And I guess I know, I even have a sense who's going to answer this. Okay? So because this is one of those questions which not many people okay, why am I giving so many clues? So here's the question. Connect Balu to Shivaji Ganesan or to an actor called Vishnu. Vishnu Vishal is his name. He acted in SriPaadham, that was his most famous film. But a lesser known film of his and a much well-known film of BALU Pandiyan. BALU Pandiyan is the right answer. The film is BALU Pandiyan. Shivaji Ganesan 1962 and Vishnu 2010.
I get my second mug after a long time.
You're the second mug. So the question is was on connecting BALU Pandiyan with Shivaji Ganesan and Vishnu Vishal, and both of them starred in a movie titled BALU Pandiyan. BALU Pandiyan. So Balu, back to you. We'll go with your story.
Okay.
So how did the wine connection happen? And normally, so I'm going to split this question into two parts. How did it happen? Either some anecdote, something that you remember from your life, A, and B, why not just be a bartender? Why this dagam, this pasi, to be a sommelier and to get all these qualifications?
Okay, I'm glad you split it into two different things. They're quite long. First thing is, I was working in Maldives with a resort 4 Seasons, where they used to do the wine tasting every month. So I'll be the one who organizes. Organize means wiping the glass, keeping the tray, keeping the wine chilled. So one fine day, this happens for like almost a year. So one day, normally you'll be like 5 people, including the director and general manager and F&B director and everybody. So one day somebody couldn't make it. So F&B manager said, you know what, Balu, have a seat. So it was like the moment, hot seat. So people were discussing, oh, I can smell fruits, and I smell sandalwood and oak, wet leather, tobacco, etc., etc. And I was thinking myself, man, I haven't, so how can I smell? So all I can smell was just alcohol. So then I said, okay, that was my kind of kick-off.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. Okay, I don't know this and I want to know this.
So what happened really was, after starting in Chola Sheraton, you found many jobs and you were finally at the 4 Seasons at Maldives.
I said you like I was doing the IHM ceremony.
Okay.
So once I finished this and I got a job offer in Maldives. So I left India in '97.
Okay.
So I left India to '97 to the Maldives.
And it was in '97 that you got this introduction?
No, I got this in 2000.
In 2000.
So,
So IHM, just for people to understand, IHM is the Institute of Hotel Management. He's referring to having completed a program there and finding a job at the 4 Seasons in Maldives. So continue. So the second part of the
so other than I know I can relate that one and that. From the tennis silent ball so I was organizing this. So suddenly one player said, okay, you better get
okay. So it was just right place, right time, and the mother was come over.
Okay.
Or very interesting coincidence.
Second one is, if you see in the world, like India, the world, there are millions or billion people who's in the food and beverage profession. And there are managers, directors, method hotel, general managers, and everybody. But if you see the sommelier, you can actually count them. There are only few. So, let's do something. So let's be, different try பண்ணி பார்க்கலாமே அப்படின்னு போனதுதான் wine.
Oh, okay. Just for the audience to understand, the sommelier பட்டம்ங்கிறது ஏன் இவ்வளோ கஷ்டம், and the wine study what does it involve?
முதல்ல sommelier உடனே கேட்பாங்க அப்படின்னா என்னப்பா. So it's a wine related, like no, we are wine professional. அப்படின்னா first thing they'll தலையில இருந்து கீழ வரைக்கும் பார்ப்பாங்க, ஓ அவனா நீ. But in reality no, we don't drink. இப்போ ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஸ்வீட் கடையில வேலை செய்யறாரு, ஸ்வீட் பிடிக்குமா பிடிக்காது. Same thing, we don't drink, we taste. We are like the tea taster. Sometimes we taste wines like 140 to 150 wines, but we don't drink, we spit out.
Wow.
Sommelier அப்படிங்கிற டைட்டில் வந்துட்டு it's a wine profession. இப்போ ஒருத்தர் wine குடிக்கிறாங்கன்னா they are wine connoisseurs. If somebody is teaching wine, they are wine educator. But we are wine professionals. We work on the floor and we learn what is wine and we develop our palate. We do the training on the nose. Like எனக்கு தெரியும் அந்த skit ஒன்று இருக்கு. So I used to sit 4:30 in the morning and smelling each smell and finding out what it is. And sometimes we combine few flavors to check. We train our nose. So for example, if you give me a strawberry, I can close my eyes. I have to tell whether it's a raw strawberry, ripe strawberry, or a wild strawberry, or a cooked strawberry. So we kind of train our nose. இன்னொரு இது என்னன்னா இப்போ ஒர்க் பிளேஸ்லாம் I can tell in the lift எனக்கு முன்னாடி யார் போனாங்கன்ட்டு with their perfume. But you know the wives are always innovation. You know எங்க வீட்டில் வந்து என்னையும் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஒரு சாப்பாடுல பாத்திரம் வரும், சாரி பாத்திரத்துல சாப்பாடு வரும். My wife will say, "Balu, இதை செக் பண்ணிட்டு சொல்ல இது நல்லதா இல்ல கெட்டு போச்சான்னு." So of course it's
So
I do work at home.
Yeah, you get work at home too. Fantastic. So it is a difficult, it's a science, and it is a difficult science.
Absolutely. It's not like நம்ம ஒரு இதை படிச்சோம் மக்கப் பண்ணிட்டு போயிட்டு எக்ஸாம் எழுதணும் கிடையாது. It's much more technical. Our blind tasting சொல்லுவாங்க. அது எப்படி நம்ம கண்ணை கட்டிட்டு ஒயின்லாம் கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. They will just pour 3 white and 3 red. I have to write what are the grapes it's made of in case it's variety or a blend. Blendna it's like a masala. ஒரு கிரேப்புக்கு மேல. So I need to put what all the blends are there and where it is come from. I can't give a generic like France னு சொல்ல முடியாது. இப்போ ஃப்ரான்ஸ்னா கூட எங்க whether it's coming from Burgundy or a Bordeaux or a Rhone Valley specifically கொடுத்துட்டு even I need to give a more specific which village it comes from and what kind of soil it's made and what is the climate condition and what is the year it's made.
அது வரைக்கும் நீங்க சொல்லணும்.
கண்டிப்பா.
Thank you for sharing that detail with us. I'll come back to you because I have a very interesting related question to that, but I'll go to Zakir now.
Sure.
for continuing with this journey. Zakir, how did this? So you had this learn was always there. So So I now get an understanding of why you are he's so proficient with the historical elements of dance. So at SriPaadham Academy, they not only teach Nritta and Abhinaya, they teach the historical relevance of each dance form, and each production is done with that background, with that kind of depth. So I get that sense. But why Vaishnavism? What drew you to Vaishnavism? And particularly to Andal. அந்த ஜர்னி எப்படி ஆரம்பிச்சது? அதுல போய் அப்படியே அந்த கடல்ல அப்படியே மூழ்கி இருக்கீங்க நீங்க. அது எப்படி அந்த ஜர்னி how did it happen for you?
It's a very complicated question. Why you are praying to the God of the mind? ஏன்னா காட் பற்றி தெரிஞ்சதுனால ப்ரே பண்ணுறீங்களா இல்லை மற்றவங்களாம் சொல்லி ப்ரே பண்ணுறீங்களா இல்லை உங்களுக்கு வந்தது ப்ரே பண்ணுறீங்களா? பட் இட் ஹேப்பன், அவ்வளோதான் சொல்ல முடியும். Even the person day before yesterday, I had a question with Mr. Gokul Nayak.
Gokul is here.
He was asking, what draw you into Vaishnavism or religion like Hinduism? Very complicated religion is. You can see Hindu-வா இருக்கிறவங்க மட்டும் தான் Hinduism வந்து புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். எப்படி இந்தியன்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் இந்தியன்ஸ் வந்து புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியுமா இருக்காது. Even you go to foreign countries, they will ask you questions. என்னடா இது பாத்ரூம்ல பண்ண வேண்டியதெல்லாம் வெளில பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா? நாங்கள் சொல்லுவோம் நீங்கள் பெட்ரூம்ல பண்ணுறதெல்லாம் வெளில பண்ணுறதுனா அது மாதிரி இந்தியன்ஸால மட்டும்தான் இந்தியா வந்து புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். ஏன் இப்படிலாம் நடக்குதுன்னா there is no toilets, public toilets நம்ம எத்தனை கட்டி வச்சிருக்கோம், அது எத்தனை க்ளீனாக வச்சிருக்கோம். anybody is interested in all those things? No. ஸோ ஒருத்த காலேஜ் சாயந்தரம் வந்து வேலைக்கு போகிற வேலை செய்யலாம், ரோடு வரலாம் போவோம். அவங்க ஒன்றும் கண்ட்ரோலே பண்ண முடியாது. இஃப் இ கண்ட்ரோல்ஸ் இட் வில் லீட் டு அனதர் ப்ராப்ளம், ஹெல்த் ப்ராப்ளம், இன்னொரு ப்ராப்ளம். அட்லீஸ்ட் அவன் அப்போயாவது போயிட்டு வர சந்தோஷப்படணும். அதுக்கு நம்ம எந்த ஒரு ஏற்பாடும் செய்யறது அது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒரு அது மாதிரி எனக்கு சோஷியல் இதெல்லாம் ஒன்று இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஹிந்துஸ் மட்டும்தான் ஹிந்துவிசம் வந்து புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். வை so many gods? Is anyone answer? No. Because you like gods. Each and everyone having their own wish to pray. You define your God. That's very important. You define your God. Which God to pray. If you are a wine taster or a non-vegetarian, you can select Ayana. If you are in love with someone else, or if you want to deep into the love or something, you can select Andal. So if you are like Shaivism, even the taster of the human flesh, we used to you define your God. God ko define nee korade. You define, you yourself define the God. The God is for me. இப்போ காலையில எந்திரிச்சு 6 மணிக்கு எந்திரிச்சு 7 மணி வரைக்கும் 1 hour பூஜை பண்ணி தான் தீரணும்னாக்க ஒருத்தரும் சாமியை கூப்பிடுவாங்க. 10 மணிக்கு எந்திரிக்கும். மெதுவாக எந்திரிச்சு எங்கள் அப்பா என்ன செய்வாருன்னா மத்தியானம் 1 மணிக்கெல்லாம் சாமி கூப்பிடுவார். நான் சொல்லுவேன் அட பாய் மனுஷா அப்பானாக்கல I'm talking about who adopted me, Mrs. Revathi and Shankar. You know Revathi Shankar, right? So he used to do at 1 o'clock puja, மத்தியானத்தில். நான் சொல்லுவேன் அப்பா என்னப்பா அகால நேரத்தில் பூஜை பண்ணுறேன். இப்போ சூரியன் எங்கேயாவது உதிக்குந்தானே கடவுளுக்கு அங்கே பூமி சுற்றி இருக்க சூரியன் எங்கேயாவது வந்து 1 மணிக்கு உதிக்குந்தானே. ஸோ அங்கே இருக்கிற நினச்சி பூஜை பண்ணிக்கிறோம். ஸோ யூ ஆர் டிஃபைனிங் யுவர் காட், ஹவு டு வர்ஷிப் அண்ட் வாட் ஹி அக்செப்ட்ஸ். ஸோ நமக்கு என்ன பிடிக்குமோ அதுதான் நம்ம வந்து அவருக்கு படைக்கிறோம். நம்ம பிடிக்காதது எதுவுமே கடவுளுக்கு யாராவது படைக்கிறோமா? இல்லவே இல்லை. நமக்கு சக்கரை பொங்கல் படைக்கணும்னாக்கல நம்ம சக்கரை பொங்கல் சாமிக்கு பிடிக்கும்ன்ற கருத்தில் படைக்கிறோம். சக்கரை பொங்கல் அவருக்கு பிடிக்குமா இல்லைன்னா ஒரு நாள் கூட கேட்டேன். அதே மாதிரி ஒரு சில சாமிங்களுக்கு இதுதான் பிடிக்கும்ன்றதுனால அதை எடுத்து படைச்சு வைக்கிறோம். ஸோ we are defining our God. ஸோ அது மாதிரி எனக்கு இருக்கிற டெஃபினேஷன், I am in love with the human being. I am very passionate about யாராவது வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டாங்க மேல் என்ன நார்மலாக பார்க்குறவங்க எல்லாரும் ரொம்ப என்ன சொல்லுவாங்கன்னா I am very arrogant in person. I am very arrogant person. If you come near to me, என்னுடைய மேனேஜர்லாம் இங்கே தான் இருக்கான். அவன் என்னை வந்து நிறைய விஷயத்தில் பார்த்துருப்பான். ஈவன் யூ ஹேவ் நோட்டீஸ் மீ இன் மை வேர்ட் இன் ஐ எம் வெரி அரகண்ட். Why I am arrogant is to cover up my all this ரொம்ப சாஃப்டான கார்னரை I want to cover it up. Nobody should know me that I am very like ரொம்ப மெல்ட் ஆகிடும், ரொம்ப வெரி ஈஸி, ரொம்ப மெல்ட் ஆகிடும். அதனால அதை கவர் அப் பண்ணுறதுக்காக that is I act like I am very arrogant. I am like dancing is my profession. Dance is like நீங்கள் எல்லாம் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. My profession is very close to feminine. Dance is not for men. But அதை கவர் அப் பண்ணுறதுக்காக நான் என்ன பண்ணேன்னாக்கா I used to go to gym. I used to build up myself. I used to walk like a man. ஏன்னா இதெல்லாம் வந்து இல்லை அப்படின்னாக்கல the normal thing will go like எப்படி ஆகுனா ஒரு ஃபெமினைன் மாதிரி ஆகிடும். அப்புறம் you have seen many male dancers who looks very feminine. So to avoid all those things, I used to go to the gym. I used to be with a lot of persons. அது மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுனால ஸோ நீங்கள் உங்கள் கடவுளை டிஃபைன் பண்ணிக்கிற மாதிரி I am very much attached to இப்போ காலையிலேருந்து மழை பெய்யல அப்படின்னாக்கல I used to talk to Andal. ஏமா மழை இல்லைனாக்கல தர்மமே கெட்டு போயிடும். சரி மழை இல்லைன்னா உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியுமா தர்மத்தை யாருமே நிலைநிறுத்த முடியாது. There will be no giving. You cannot give anything. You cannot cook anything. You cannot give anything. If you are not satisfied yourself, you cannot give. அப்போ அந்த தர்மமே அழிஞ்சு போயிடும். ஸோ தர்மம் அழிகிறதுக்காக அழியாமல் இருக்கணுன்றதுக்காக இந்த மழையை பெய்ய வைக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு I used to talk to Andal. எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சது என்னன்னாக்கல கடவுள் மேலே அவ வச்சிருந்த லவ். I love Krishna. So she also loves Krishna. So it's like that. I define my Andal into that. And the definition of Andal came into that. So I put Andal as my God.
I think it's a very profound answer. I'll simplify it in the context in which we're discussing it. That is his bliss. Andal is his bliss, and he has personalized his bliss. And he loves humanity, and he loves Krishna. And he found that Andal occupied that space, and therefore his love for Andal. I think it's very beautifully explained.
And you know that Mahabharathila ரொம்ப அழகான ஒரு क्वेश्चन கிருஷ்ணர் பார்த்த ஒரு கேள்வி ஒன்று வரும். காந்தாரி will ask Krishna, if you think that இந்த வாரை வந்து அவாய்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக you could have done it. You have killed all my sons, and you wanted the war அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு Krishna himself explained Gandhari that I don't want war. நான் சண்டையே வேணாம்னு சொல்லி தான் மதுராவிலேருந்து துவாரகா வரையும் கோட்டை கட்டு வந்தேன். நான் ஒரு தடவையும் சண்டையை அவாய்ட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கேன். If you see my life, I always avoid fighting. But the people will come and fight with me. What to do? I always. அது மாதிரி his definition மாதிரி I am defining myself. I always wanted to be a human being, very humble human being. But the people will make me very, very strong, very, very arrogant. And the questions which I am facing is very irrelevant questions. And sometimes, it will hurt me. So I put a four-way on me that I am very arrogant. That it helps.
Life as a dancer and as an Upanyasam expert is not no life is easy, but particularly as a dancer and as an Upanyasam expert, as a male dancer, it's very challenging. So everyday living, it's a steady income, that's one thing. You have to pay your bills. There is the requirement for steady income. Secondly, in the challenges, there is a challenge called the way the world looks at your religion or religions. You are a Muslim, but you are you're a practicing Vaishnavite. In the contradictions, everyday life handle பண்றீங்க இல்ல contradictionே கிடையாது?
இது நான் ஹேண்டில் பண்றதே இல்லை. Let it be happen. யார் வந்து என்ன क्वेश्चन பண்றது? Even my father in those days he used to ask me, வாழவே தெரியாம வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. நான் ஒரே வார்த்தை வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருக்கிறேன் இல்ல, அதுவே பெரிய விஷயம். பேசாம அப்படின்னு. ஸோ வாழவே தெரியாம வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருக்கிறனாலும் சரி, வாழ்ந்து தெரிஞ்சவங்க வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருந்தாலும் சரி, the final destination is the death. Nobody is going to remember you after like நம்ம ராமானுஜர் மாதிரியோ ஆண்டாள் மாதிரியோ வாழ்ந்துட்டு போனாதான் உண்டு. இல்லைன்னா அடுத்த நிமிஷம் இன்னைக்கு சேர்த்து போயிட்டா நாளைக்கு பால்ன்ற மாதிரி, இன்னைக்கு சேர்த்து போயிட்டா நாளைக்கு சீரியல். ஏன்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் அவங்க காலத்துலயாவது there will be no questions session, இவ்வளோ பெரிய மீடியா இருந்தது இல்லை. They are not answerable to anyone. But இப்போ அவங்க இருந்திருந்தாங்கனாக்கல ராமானுஜரே நிறைய questions வந்து ஃபேஸ் பண்ணிருக்கு. ஏன் உன் ஒய்ஃபை விட்டு நீ தனியா போயிட்டு, ஈவன் புத்தா cannot answer that question. ஏன் நைட்டோட நைட்டா ஓடி போயிட்டியா, அதுவே பெரிய தப்பா இருக்கு. So they have that liberty. அது மாதிரி என்னுடைய காலத்துல when I was a kid, இவ்வளோ பெரிய இது இருந்ததில்லை, மீடியா உடைய தாக்கம் இருந்ததில்லை. எல்லாரும் எல்லாத்துக்கும் நீங்க ஒரு ஸ்டேட்டஸ்னு ஒன்று போடுங்க ஃபேஸ்புக்ல, அதுக்கு கமெண்ட்ஸ் பார்க்கணும். ஆதரிச்சவங்க ஒரு 10 கமெண்ட்ஸ், இல்லைன்றதும் 10 கமெண்ட்ஸ். இதை பார்த்தே நம்ம கன்ஃபியூஷன் ஆகும். இப்போ ஸ்டேட்டஸ் போடுறதை நிப்பாட்டிட்டேன். ஐயோ இவங்களுக்கு பதில் சொல்ல முடியுதா சாமி அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. ஸோ இட்ஸ் லைக் ஒவ்வொரு நாளும் ஒவ்வொரு இதுவும் அந்த ஏன் இப்போ நம்ம கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வந்து வரணும் அப்படின்னாக்கா ஐ ஜஸ்ட் அவாய்ட். ஓ அப்படியான்னு சொல்லி சிரிச்சுட்டு போயிட்டே இருக்குது. இல்லைன்னா நெக்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் ப்ளீஸ் அப்படின்னு.
Religion is to me, the way I see religion is that it is a mass movement, it induces fear, people try to control, and you are in that space and you are so free. How is that?
Sir, நீங்க வந்து if you are believing in religion with fear அப்படின்னாவே you are not very attached to the religion and you are not understanding the religion. Religion is to love.
Beautiful.
To love. Actually எல்லா ரிலிஜனும் அதான் பேசிக்கா சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கு. Love is the religion. But the people unnecessarily they make a religion as politics. So politics எல்லாருடைய கொள்கையும் என்ன, மக்களுக்கு நன்மை செய்யறது. ஆனா அந்த மக்களுக்கு நன்மை செய்யறதுன்ற ஒரு கொள்கையை வச்சா எல்லா பாலிடிக்ஸும் ஒன்னதான் இருக்கணும். அப்ப இதுக்கு இவ்வளோ டிஃபரன்ஷியேஷன். அப்ப ஏன் இவனை கெட்டவன் சொல்றான், அவனை நல்லவன் சொல்றான்? நீயும் மக்களுக்கு நல்லது செய்யதான் வந்திருக்கேன், அவனும் மக்களுக்கு நல்லது செய்யதான் வந்திருக்கான். அப்ப அந்த ஒரு ஆம்பிஷன்ல ஒன்னா இருக்கீங்க. பட் so much of differences. You are accusing each and everyone. Like that, religion is based only on love. So then why? No differences. If you understand that, whether Vaishnavism or Shaivism or Anvesh, இவங்க தான் சொல்லி வச்சிருக்காங்க. அதே மாதிரி தான் கிருஷ்ணருக்கும் அதுதான். Love is Lord Krishna. கிருஷ்ணாவை நீங்க வேற எதுலையுமே போடவே முடியாது. Love only the Krishna அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. அதே மாதிரி இஸ்லாத்துல பார்த்தாலும் love. You love each other. And you love your neighbor, and you love your other religion. அதே மாதிரி தான் கிறிஸ்டியானிட்டியும் love. There is no contradictory. Why these people are making so much of confusion? எனக்கு ஒரு confusion. என்னை யாராவது ஒருத்தர் வந்து கேள்வி கேட்டனாக்கல நீங்க கிறிஸ்டியானிட்டி தான் பிலீவ் பண்ணே, நீ முதல்ல கடவுளை பிலீவ் பண்ணுங்க, அதை பிலீவ் பண்ணுங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் கிறிஸ்டியனா இந்துவா முஸ்லிமான்றதெல்லாம் அப்புறம் பேசிக்கலாம். முதல்ல கடவுளை பிலீவ் பண்ணுங்க, அதுவே பிலீவ் பண்ண மாட்டேங்க. If you believe in God, you never raise questions.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. I think the Upanyasam part I completely relate to that. Very well said. I completely relate to the Upanyasam part. And the point I am picking up and what I always keep telling people is, you know, all our life we are raised to be God-fearing. And I think that is no God that makes you fear. I think God-loving is a better state. If there is a way of looking at it, I would like to look at it that way. I'll go to Balu now, and then we'll go to the questions with the audience very quickly. Balu, one important question, quite similar to the one I asked him. He's completely free. He lives in the moment and he's celebrating himself. That's the way he's seeing it. How do you see your passion, your passion for wines? It's a very expensive passion in the real world terms, right? You have to travel abroad, you have to go and attend programs, you have to educate yourself, you have to pay fees and write exams. This comes at a huge cost. Have you ever thought of the cost எல்லாம் add up பண்ணி எங்க போய் முடிய போகுது? அதனால உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது insecurities வந்திருக்கா? இல்ல உங்களுடைய பசி உங்களுடைய தாகம் வந்து அந்த insecurity எல்லாம் தூக்கிடும்?
It's a difficult question, but I can answer it. When I started as a dishwasher, I never thought I'm going to be a sommelier one day. I never thought I'm going to be in the pit stop of Monaco, Monte Carlo, or Barcelona. So there is a flow.
But by the way, he's referring to Monaco the second time, so I think Ninglu Vanna can elaborate on it. He was the personal sommelier to one of the owners of an F1 team, gone and served on his private yacht, and his job was to pair wines with food. Was that a good summary?
Yeah. I used to be with the team, McLaren Mercedes Formula 1 team for 6 years, living in Monte Carlo. So this all happened. I never thought, or I never had a goal, okay, I'm going to be a sommelier. I'm sure my mom doesn't know even where I'm going to be landed. So there is a flow, and instead of breaking our head, in case this doesn't happen, it's so we are hurt or we are not happy. And obviously the course is not easy, but I get the sources to travel, to give my exams, and to come back as well. So whenever I travel, I had a 3-day seminar in Dallas. So I don't want to even tell the expenses, but I had a friends there, so I had a kind of session. I didn't cover the entire transportation and everything, but there is something you can cover. Sommelier is, as I said, it's a fancy title, but again, it doesn't come very cheap. Most of the exams and the studies, everything takes place in abroad. So, inshallah, we are trying to kind of have a small organization called Indian Sommelier Association. So whatever I learned in abroad in last 14 years, I would like to bring it to the people or students who want to study sommelier thing in India. I can't give them a certification, but I can give them a guidance.
Beautiful. So that's what Blanca Rouge, your organization, is going to do.
So that's
what it's starting.
Indian Sommelier Association is a non-profitable thing, and I need to make some money to run my family. So
okay, right.
So Blanca Rouge is like a consulting company I started, and of course we have a small office in Bordeaux. So we advise people how to drink wine, because wine is another unique alcoholic beverage. It's not like a it's much more than that. So we kind of take people on the educational part, how to love wine, and that's one thing. And we organize any tour, we take them to the places where they make wines and cosmetics. And we advise people on wine investment. Like the share market, there is also a wine investment.
So you advise them?
Yes.
That's the model around Blanca Rouge.
Yes. And one of the main activities, though I worked in the private yachts, so now I train people, the stewardess and stewards on the private yacht. So that's why if you see my Facebook profile, and I'm sure one you also mentioned. So I travel a lot, and often my friends ask me, what a life that. But you every day in one place and another. But only I know the pain, because probably I'll be finishing 12:30 in the night, then sleep for 3 hours, get ready, move to the airport and fly. So I'm taking the life as it comes.
Beautiful. I think going with the flow. So there is no destination. There is no place to arrive. Yeah. You start as a dishwasher. You end up as a sommelier. You're on a yacht. You're on on a journey continuously, a journey of learning, and spreading the love for wine. That's a great place to be in. That's a great place to be in. I'm going to go to Ramya. I'm going to surprise Ramya with a question here. So Ramya is Balu's wife, and she's joined us today. Thank you, Ramya, for being here with us today. Here, that's Ramya. So Ramya, quick question for you. Can somebody pass a mic to Ramya? This is a unique man with a unique passion, and running his family along with him when he's dealing with so much of joy at one level, and yet there's a lot of stress which can come associated with what he's trying to achieve. How do you balance the two, and how do you find the balance there?
I've seen him always having passion for the field right from the start. When he started very big, that's whenever I know him. So every move of his I've known, and he's always interested into something which is very unique. I've been in his support. It's very difficult to start and manage a family and a career. Basically, that's the same with everybody. Every field has that problem. We also faced that, and we went through a lot of phases, but we handled it somehow.
You will always handle it.
Yes, we always handle it.
You know, I think it's very
Somebody
important.
who's running behind his passion, obviously, it will fail.
Absolutely. So I think it's very important that people like Balu, people like me have the right partners, and just like I have Vani, Balu's got you. So I think it's a great. I know what it means. I truly know what it means to have that support, because we're all going to walk the line of lunacy, people. So,
Even if he goes
all
off
of
the
us,
track,
right,
we push
yeah,
him to the
right.
line.
No, that's true. If you ask me a dishwasher to a sommelier, I wouldn't call that an achievement. I will call achieving is marrying someone. My first girlfriend, I married her with her parents' wishes. So that I always tell her that's my biggest achievement.
Yeah, just I had in love with 3 or 4 girlfriends. I didn't marry.
So we'll now go to the audience for questions. I'm timing this. I'm going to make a request once again, Ati. I'm going to make a request. Please keep your questions sharp, precise, and questions. Comments and observations, either on religion or on wines, can be after the program. Okay, when we conclude. Yes, Ati, your hand went up.
Yes, I will speak without the mic because I think I can be heard.
Yeah, go ahead.
First thing, to Mr. Hussain, you said about dance form that makes you very feminine, and so you go to the gym, it is important. That is one part. I will tell you the opposite in a similar way situation. When a female power lifter or an athlete has to do the same reverse situation to get her back into the feminine side. Is it correct? I don't know. And is it really true that dance makes you a bit feminine like that?
Sir, if you ask me a question, I will answer. If you ask about a female bodybuilder athlete, then she has to answer. At least for next time you bring one female.
In your case, suppose you are a
But
man.
in my case, the general talk about the male dancers, they look like they'll talk like a female dancer, they'll talk like a female, and they'll walk and the gaze and their pronunciation and everything like a female marada irupanga. General. I am talking about general, not ரொம்ப particular. இவங்கள பார்த்து அப்படி தெரியல அப்படின்லாம் சொல்லாதீங்க. General. So the same answer, the same question to Kamal Hassan also. He also said, he also followed the same thing. He went to the gym and he built. The MGR also, if you are in the olden days, he used to wear only the female dress and he used to act in dramas. So after that question has arisen that whether you are a male or female, he wants to identify himself as one of the good bodybuilder. So அது பாத்தீங்கன்னா நல்ல கலர்ஃபுல்லா நல்ல டைட்டான ஷர்ட் எல்லாம் போட்டு தான் எம்ஜிஆர் இருப்பார். அந்த காலத்துலலாம் நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஹாஃப் அண்ட் ஷர்ட் தான் போட்டு போவார். ஸோ அது மாதிரி இந்த கொஷின்ஸ் முதல்ல ஃபெமினைனா இருக்கிற எல்லாரும் they want to show themselves that no, we are not feminine, we are men normally. But on the stage or on screen or something, we act whatever we are going to act. So like that, I want to distinguish between a male dancer and a man. So that is one thing. எனக்கு அது ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக இருந்தது. I don't know about the female athlete.
Next question, please. Yeah, Soumya.
So, no, I don't need a mic. So, this is to Balu.
We need to know your question.
Okay. So, this is to Balu, right? So, you said you keep tasting wine. So, does it have an impact on your health?
Does tasting wine have an impact on health? Can the mic go to the last row? Badri, there. Be ready with your question. Yeah.
I think I said it wine tasting, not wine drinking.
No,
It's two
understand,
different things. When we taste wine, we spit out. We don't just taste one or two wines. Sometimes when you do a professional tasting, it goes to 140, 160. We take breaks. So anyway, in now current scenario, we are telling, we are promoting, and even a lot of doctors, correct me if I'm wrong, we say a glass of wine a day is good for your health. And especially, sorry?
Keep the doctor away.
No, that's an apple. So our health is not spoiled. Probably we don't drink. As I said, we are not alcoholic. I don't mind calling myself professional alcoholic, but I'm not alcoholic. We taste wines and we educate people on wines, but we don't drink.
Great. Badri, your question, please.
This is from ZAKIR HUSSAIN. Andal மேல காதல் சொன்னீங்க. அந்த காதல் how did it move to Sommelier?
சார் நான் ராமானுஜரை பற்றி இன்னும் ஒரு வார்த்தை கூட பேசவே இல்லை. I read about ராமானுஜா, பட் ஆல்வேஸ் ஐ ஸ்டே என்னுடைய லைஃப் டைம் வரையும் நான் சாகர வரையும் ஆண்டாளை பற்றி மட்டுமே உபன்யாசம் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கணுன்றது தான் என்னுடைய ஆசை. ஐ டென்ட் அதாவது ஸ்ரீ வைஷ்ணவர்கள் எல்லாருமே வந்து ராமானுஜ தாசன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சரணாகதி பண்ணுறதுங்கிறது இட்ஸ் சம்பிரதாயம். அந்த சம்பிரதாயத்தை பிரகாரம் ஐ டென்ட் சே தட் ஐ எம் டிவோட்டி ஆஃப் ராமானுஜா. இட் இஸ் நத்திங் ராங் ஆல்சோ, பட் ஐ எம் வெரி கிரேட் ஆர்டர் டிவோட்டி ஆஃப் ஆண்டாள். அதுதான் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். நீங்கள் திருப்பி எனக்கு வந்து கான்ட்ரோடக்டரியாக கொண்டு போய் உள்ள நுழைச்சி விட்டாதீங்க. ஏன்னா ஆண்டாலும் ஸ்ரீ வைஷ்ணவத்தில் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். இப்போ அதெல்லாம் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண போனா இன்னும் ரொம்ப அதிகமாகிடும். வேண்டாம், இதோட நிப்பாட்டிக்கிறேன். ஐ எம் ஆர்டர் டிவோட்டி ஆஃப் ஆண்டாள், not any other god, even Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna also comes after Andal only.
Yes, Mohan, and then Suresh. And Jala.
Questions to Balu. How did McLaren and Mercedes react to an Indian sommelier?
It's a great question. I met the owner when I was in Maldives. So I was recommending usual for his food. I was recommending him wine. So he looked at me. Of course, I'm not from Sweden. Unfortunately, I'm from India. I don't have blue eyes or white skin. So he thought I'm kind of, making it out. I don't know anything. So he asked me, first thing he asked me, do you speak French? I'm sorry, that time I'm a kind of, English ke tadumai wearing a French. So I said, no, I don't speak French. Then he said, what do you know about this wine? So I did not don't push the wrong button. So that's a short time. So I told him what grape it's made of, what is the age of the plant, which side the slope was facing, and what is the temperature there. And it's actually, I still remember the name. It's called Andal, the small region small village in Bordeaux. Andal means between the ocean. So even I said that, and what is the tasting note of that wine, and why do I pair that wine with a particular food? That's it. And the all sagla, we don't learn there. But he got up and he gave me his card and he said, Balu, you know what? I'm really sorry. And he's the president of TAG Group. Then he said, when you think of Europe, let me know. And he's still my godfather. I also met him last week. He's in good health. And he sponsored some of my studies. And still we are in good relations. And he's the one who connected me to the wine world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, mark the point. He's my godfather. He sponsored my studies in wine. Follow your bliss, and doors will open where only walls exist, and only you will see those doors. That's the key. That's the key over there. Thank you for that question, Mohan.
Can I
Yes.
add one small thing?
Yes,
Sorry.
please, please.
Okay, நம்ம ஊர்ல சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, நம்ம கிடைக்கிறதோட கொஞ்சம் நிறுத்தாம we also need to give back. So me and my wife, we have started a small education fair Of course, with our income and our money, we can't sponsor 10 kids. So we started with 1 kid, and God's grace, we got 2 kids now. We are sponsoring them. So we don't give them any money in their hand. Everything is bank transferred to the school, and we have 2 people studying. We fund the kids for a study. And I called it, that education name is OJ, because the person who took me and sponsored all my study is OJ, but I call it OJ. So it's only only 2 of us knows. We don't advertise. But why I'm saying this, we don't need to be a multi-millionaire to do things like this. Even if you're a normal person, we can do it. It's good for us.
Very nice, very nice. Suresh, your question.
Am I permitted to ask each of them one question each?
If the questions are short, yes.
First, Hussain sir. Sir, you repeat over one thing, Chennai one thing, அதுக்கப்புறம் எப்படி நீங்கள் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் முடிஞ்சீங்க அந்த செக்ஷன் ஆஃப் இது அவ்வளோவா எனக்கு வரேன் அது சொன்ன முடியும்னா சொல்லலாம் கிளாரிட்டி கொடுத்துருக்கேன் சார் பாண்டியன் சார் ஜஸ்ட் ஒன் குவிக் கொஸ்டின் working with the Formula 1 team is like big so just wanted to pass on maybe 1 or 2 takeaways அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டீம்ஸ் ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது என்ன நம்ம கற்றுக்கலாம்.
Okay, of course it's in a normal idhe kediyadu. It's kind of hi-fi. Ipo your uniform la irundhu, even if you take my shoes or socks, everything is Hugo Boss. Had an apartment in the Cape Town, which is close to Monte Carlo, driving McLaren. It's all something different world. But other, and again, I don't want to say the salary. Just, you can imagine working for a McLaren Mercedes and what would be the salary. So, the fast. I'm not talking about the drivers, but everything. If over 4 container, the container within 6 hours, you can see that's a beautiful launch. It's all organizing, and it's not only the organizing, how they pack. Everything has instruction. If work but other
So speed and project management, agility and project management. That's what.
At the time.
That's what I picked. Yeah. Yes,
sir.
sir.
இவ்வளோ சீக்கிரமா இதுக்கு ஆன்சர் பண்ண முடியாது. I'll take 1 or 2 minutes extra.
Please.
With your permission,
Please.
The thing is, when I came to Chennai, I was staying in here with my friend, which is very close to Kodambakkam Pilots பக்கத்துல. அது ஒரு ஹாஸ்டலில் தான் நான் தங்கியிருக்கேன், கவர்மெண்ட் ஹாஸ்டல். அங்கே இருக்கிற சாப்பாடுலையும் அங்கே இருக்கிற ரூம்ஸ்ன்றது கிடையாது, ஒரு ஹால் மாதிரி இருக்கும், அங்கேயே படுத்துட்டே இருக்கிறது. அப்போது ஒரு இன்சிடென்ட் நான் இங்கே சொன்னால் ஒரு நாள் நல்லா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஒரு நாள் நைட்டு ஒரு 11 o'clock மை ஃப்ரெண்ட் கேம் அப் ஸ்டேயிங் இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃப்ளோர். ஸோ அந்த ஹாலில் தங்கி இருக்கும்போது he said இன்னைக்கு நைட் ரெயின் வர போகிறது, கவர்மெண்ட் அஃபிஷியல் they are going to come and check for all staying here அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு can you stay somewhere else இன்னைக்கு நைட்டு மட்டும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. தென் எனக்கு அப்போ அவ்வளோ ஒன்றும் பெருசாக யாரும் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸே கிடையாது. Then I went to Central Railway Station. அப்போ பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் டிக்கெட் ₹1 தான் இருந்தது. You know that அப்போ அந்த காலத்தில் I am talking about 89-90. அந்த ₹1 டிக்கெட்டை வாங்கிட்டு அந்த ரயில்வே ஸ்டேஷனில் தூங்கிட்டேன். ஏன்னா அந்த நைட்டை கடத்தணுன்றதுக்காக. ஸ்டில் I remember that. அவ்வளோ கொசுக்களுக்கு மத்தியில் இப்போ கொஞ்சம் பரவாயில்ல, கொசு மருந்தெல்லாம் அடிச்சு வச்சுருக்காங்க. அப்போ அந்த ஃபெசிலிட்டி கூட கிடையாது. 2 நிமிஷம் வருவாங்க அது வண்டி எல்லாம் அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும். ஸோ அது மாதிரி இருக்கிற ஒரு நைட்டுகளில் இருக்கிறதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஐ மேட் மிஸ்ஸஸ் YGP அண்ட் மை குரு சித்ரா விஸ்வேஸ்வரன். ஐ எம் வெரி லைக் அவங்க என்ன சொல்கிறதுன்னு தெரியல, ஷீ இஸ் அன் ஏஜென்ட் சொல்லணும். She heard all those things and she recommended me to get some sponsorship from so many stalwarts of this country. Enfield company chairman Mr. Viswanathan sir and Rajnikant sir, Satyaraj sir, அதுக்கப்புறம் நல்லி குப்புசாமி செட்டி, அதுக்கப்புறம் இன்னும் நிறைய கவர்மெண்ட்ஸ் ஸ்காலர்ஷிப்ஸ் எல்லாம் அவங்க ரெக்கமெண்ட் பண்ணி தான் நான் வாங்கினேன். அது வாங்கினதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் அதுக்கு முன்னாடி வேலை என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன்னாக்க ஒரு ஹோட்டலில் விழா ஹோட்டலும் ஒன்று இருந்தது உங்களுக்கு மவுண்ட் ரோட்டில். உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சது நான் இப்போவும் வெஜிடேரியன் அப்போவும் வெஜிடேரியன் தான். யூ இமேஜின் யுவர் செல்ஃப் வெஜிடேரியன் கோயிங் டு a non-vegetarian hotel and writing bills. ஸோ பில் போட்டுருந்தேன். ஒரு நாளைக்கு ₹10 தான் சேலரி. எவ்வளோ? ₹10. நீங்களாவது ₹1500. அப்போ பயங்கர பெரிய காசு சார். when compared to me, you are a rich person, millions. So, ஒரு நாளைக்கு 10 ரூபாய் தான் salary. அந்த 10 ரூபாய் வாங்கிட்டு வந்துட்டு அப்படியே நடந்து வருவோம் மவுண்ட் ரோட்ல வீட்டுக்கு வந்து தூங்கி எழுந்திரிச்சு போவேன். ஸோ அவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு தான் வந்தேன். நான் சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, வான் வித் கோல்டன் ஸ்பூனோட இருந்துட்டு இவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு வளர்றதுங்கிறது என்னால் இப்போ நினச்சா கூட அந்த வீட்டுக்கு போகக்கூடாது, எங்கள் அப்பா முன்னாடி நான் வந்து தலை குனிஞ்சு நின்றுடக்கூடாதுன்ற ஒரு வைராக்கியத்தோடு தான் நான் இருந்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு நாளைக்கு அந்த 10 ரூபாய் சம்பளம் வாங்கிட்டு அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நிறைய ஸ்காலர்ஷிப்ஸ் வந்தது. ஸ்காலர்ஷிப் வந்த முன்னாடி 93ல் என்னுடைய அரங்கேற்றம் நடந்தது. தேங்க்ஸ் டு ஆக்டர் விக்ரமன் ரோஹினி அண்ட் த ஆக்ட்ரஸஸ் ஹூ ஸ்டடிட் அண்டர் மீ அண்ட் ஆல். ஸோ அவங்க எனக்கு நல்லா சப்போர்ட் பண்ணிட்டு என்ன பண்ணாங்கன்னா, தே ஸ்டார்டட் எ கிளாஸ். அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் எனக்கு பணமே பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன் இன் 93, 94ல். பட் மை அரங்கேற்றம் வாஸ் சூப்பர் டூப்பர். இப்போ பாகுபலி படம் மாதிரி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அரங்கேற்றமே பாகுபலி ஹிட் மாதிரி. இந்த அரங்கேற்றத்துக்கே நான் நினைச்சே பார்க்க முடியாத ஆர்டிஸ்ட்லாம் வந்து என்னுடைய ஆடியன்ஸாக உட்காந்துருந்தாங்க. ஈவன் டாக்டர் பத்மா சுப்ரமணியம், டாக்டர் சுதாகர் ரகுபதி, சோபனா, தென் ஜாக்கிர் ஹுசைன். ஜாக்கிர் வாஸ் எனக்கு அப்போவே நல்லா தெரியும், தப்லா ஜாக்கிர் ஹுசைன் டாக்டர், அவருடைய தம்பி ஃபசல் குரேஷி, அண்ட் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த குருஸ் இன் சென்னை தே கேம் அண்ட் அட்டெண்ட் அரங்கேற்றம். ஸோ ஒவ்வொருத்தரையும் ஒவ்வொரு ப்ரோக்ராமுக்கு சீஃப் கெஸ்ட்டாக கூப்பிடலாம், ஆனால் எனக்கு அவங்களாம் ஆடியன்ஸாக இருந்தாங்க. ஸோ அவ்வளோ பெரிய பெரிய ஸ்டார் பாஸ் எல்லாம் எனக்கு வந்து கெஸ்ட்டாக இருந்தாங்க. அப்போது எனக்கு இன்னும் ஞாபகம் இருக்குது, சத்யராஜ் சார் சொன்ன விஷயம் பேசலாமா? சத்யராஜ் சார் என்னுடைய அரங்கேற்றத்தை பார்த்து சொன்னார், எந்த காரணத்தை முன்னிட்டு சினிமா பக்கம் வந்துடாது, ஏன்னா உனக்கு பார்த்தா நல்லா கலராகவும் இருக்க, நிஜமா சினிமா சான்ஸ்லாம் நிறைய வரும், எந்த காலத்தை முன்னிட்டு வந்துடாது. அது பாலுமேந்திர சார் சொன்னார். ஸோ ரெண்டு பேருமே அது சேர்ந்து சொன்னதுனால இப்போ வரையும் அது பெருசாக அப்படியே கீப் பண்ணின்னு இருக்கேன். ஐ டோன்ட் ஆக்ட் இன் மூவிஸ், ஐ டோன்ட் கோ ஃபார் டிவி சீரீஸ், I don't want to do anything with film industry except teaching Bharatanatyam to the artists. Thank you.
Very nice. That's a very important takeaway there. Nothing comes easy, of course. I think that everyone got. But a great brand, you can call oneself a brand, you can call oneself a Bliss Catcher, a Bliss follower, knows very clearly, and my dear friend Kavita Krishnan is here, he will endorse that, I picked it up from him as well, knows very well what not to do, even if they don't know very clearly what to do. They know very clearly what not to do. And so Satyaraj's sage advice has made Zakir who he is today, which is amazing, and the fact that he kept that advice and followed it. So here we are.
He's an actor.
He's an actor.
He's an actor. And Balu Mahendra was supposed to be a film director.
Right.
ரெண்டு பேரும் சொன்ன வார்த்தை என்னது, சினிமாக்குள்ள வந்துடாது. ஆச்சரியமான விஷயம்.
Let's go to the most exciting segment today, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have to disallow Jala's question. He can have it one-on-one with the guests. Most exciting part of today, the quiz part, where two of our members in the audience are going to take home this fabulous mug. And this time the questions come from the guests. So Balu, your question very quickly. And we need to manage time, so please help me along, everyone.
Okay, I'm from the alcohol industry. Can I ask a question from alcohol industry?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I'm sure there are some of us who imbibe and live in the spirits.
I take the point.
I can't answer the question, of course. But
okay, what are the two famous brandies come from France?
Onion, champagne.
It's not a brandy, sir.
Onion.
One more, please. It's a brand.
Armagnac?
Of course.
Cognac and Armagnac.
Cognac and Armagnac is the right answer.
okay, thank you. So both of you gentlemen come forward. We'll still give them both mugs. Chimaya.
Exactly.
Chimaya and Becky. Your first mug, Becky? No. Oh, you had a mug before? Okay. Chimaya's second mug, because you got a mug as a Bliss Catcher also. Chimaya, don't even before I forget, you need to collect. Your questions, Zakir, to the audience.
Yeah, one question le rendu question irukku. Which is the bird which is connected to Shaivism and Vaishnavism? Only one bird. And what are the difference between that two birds holding the same persons or two different women?
Wait. I think Badri's hand went up first. Badri's hand up. Badri.
Blue color.
கிளி
Stand up, Badri, yeah.
This bird is கிளி மதுரை மீனாட்சி கிளி இருக்கு ஆண்டாள் கிளி
எந்த சைடுன்னு சொல்லலையே சார்.
இதுதான் தெரியும்.
நான் கேட்ட கேள்வியில ரெண்டாவது கேள்வி வந்து எந்த சைடுல இருக்குதுன்றதும் முக்கியம். ரெண்டு பேருமே கரெக்டான ஆன்சர். ரெண்டு பேரும் வந்து வாங்க.
Please. So, Dr. Chari gets her second month for the day. Vivi Batra left. I think she was very upset with me. Very good, fantastic. What a great quiz session where we had 4 marks going out, not 2 as planned. So thank you for splitting the spoils between you, Venki, Chinmaya, Dr. Chari and Badri. Badri, your first mark? 4th mark, look at that. So we have a count here going on. 4th, wow, that's great. That's good. So let's go to the last segment of today where we will, I'll do a wrap. Please be calm and stay with us till the very end. I have a couple of important announcements to make. But I want to thank both Balu and Zakir for being here with us. May I invite Ashwin from Odyssey to come forward and give them the coveted Bliss Catcher trophy. So, Zakir, your Bliss Catcher trophy. And they get also these beautiful Hazel journals from Hazel, the gifting partner. Thank you so much, Ashwin. Without Ashwin's support and without the team's support, we wouldn't be seeing Bliss Catchers progress so seamlessly month on month. Thank you so much. We have now a Facebook page for the Bliss Catchers. Those of you who are on Facebook, please go like the page and follow us there. You can tweet to me at AVIS Viswanathan and also tag at Odyssey Post for your tweet. Please do share what you thought of the program on Facebook and tag us. Spread the word, let more people know about the program so we get more audiences and spread the message of living happily. I want to conclude today's session by sharing what I picked up from Balu's story and from Zakir's story. I think in the Madri Varka Varadhikala or Tunichal Dil and they both are very, very demonstrative of that. And if we look at life, if we actually think about life very calmly, the entry is choiceless and the exit is choiceless. Between this entry and exit, this interval between entry and exit is what life is all about. And that life is really all drama. If you look at it and think about it very calmly, there's nothing to achieve. There is nothing to claim. There is nothing to protect. There is nothing to cling on to. There is nothing to stake your claim to. And so, what is life then all about? Life is really about the journey. Life is about just keep walking, like Johnny Walker, right? The brand, just keep walking.
I like that.
And that's one of my favorite whiskeys. So just keep walking. And as you keep walking, stay alive. So wine, whiskey, so afterward. Afterward, yes, afterward. So just keep walking is really what life is all about. But when you're walking, be alive. Don't walk with the burden of not living a full life. You know, we lost a wonderful, wonderful author last week. The man who wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, Robert Persing. And he said that to live for a future goal is shallow. To live for a future goal is shallow because the sides of the mountain is where the life is, never at the top. And I think he made a lot of sense. So the life, the journey of life is really the reward. And there is no destination to arrive to. And that's what I picked up from both their stories. His love for Andal and and his love for wines. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for yet another happening session of Bliss Catchers. Please do join us next month, 27th of May. I think Khatri Vayil will be over by then, and we will have Puchi Venkat, who is already here in the audience with us, and Arun Krishnamurthy join us for the 27th edition of Bliss Catchers. Thank you, good evening, and have fun, everybody.